Hello, South Louisiana. How are you this morning? Darla LeJean with Real Broker. I am a real estate agent going on, crazy enough to think about it, 6 years in March. It's flown by. I absolutely love everything real estate. And what I really love is educating people, especially when people have this misconception about things, a misconception that lots of buyers have, lots of people have, concerning landlocked land. I get this statement from people all the time that say, well, they have to give me a right of way. They have to give me access to this property if I buy it and it's landlocked and there's no way to get to it. Well, that might be true, but listen, as you know, going back hundreds and thousands of years, lots and lots of wars have gotten started and lots of enemies have been made over boundary lines. And it's still happening today where people get pissed off over where they believe their boundaries are on their property. And this is something I'm working with a new potential real estate agent who is looking to join me in the next couple of weeks. And we had this conversation this morning, and this is my take on it. We, as real estate agents, as professionals, as members of our community, do not ever want to burn bridges and do not want to piss off people. That is not our job. Our job as real estate agents is to help people navigate the real estate world and to figure out what is the best case scenario so that everyone is happy. And so if you are looking to buy a piece of landlocked land, the best situation would be to be friendly to the people who own the land that is making it landlocked and who could potentially give you the right of way. Some people call it a right of access, a right of way, an easement by necessity. They're all the same thing. But the easiest way and the best way is to just be kind and friendly, and hopefully the people who need to give you that access, you can figure out a way so that it's beneficial to both of you. I listed a piece of property I didn't list it, I represented the buyers on a piece of property that was about 26 acres, and there was no access to the property. So it comes up for sale. The buyer, my client, sees it on Zillow, sees how low it's priced for, calls me up and says, hey, I want to submit an offer on this property. It's so low. And I knew, being familiar with Acadia Parish and the Iota area, that it was priced ridiculously low. But it was because it was landlocked. It did not have access. So my client, we put it under contract. And I said to him, listen, you need right of access. Of course you do. The neighbor doesn't have to give it to you, right? You can sue him. Of course you can sue him. Nobody wants to sue anybody. Y'all, that's a way that people make enemies. And that's just never a good thing, right? So what's the best way? This land, this 26 acres, had 2 neighbors on each side, and either one of those neighbors could have given this person a right-of-way to the property. So I said to him, this is my suggestion. We have it under contract. You have 30 days of due diligence. During that 30 days, you're going to try to get one of those neighbors to give you a right of access. And remember this, when you are granted a right-of-way, a right of access, most attorneys, and you want to make sure if you're getting this done, that this is what they do, that the right-of-way, the right of access, stays with the property. So that once you have this right-of-way and the land is no longer landlocked, right? If you sell it in a couple of years, the right-of-way, the right of passage, the easement by necessity stays with the property. Not with you, but with the property. And thankfully, my client went and talked to both of the neighbors. One absolutely said no, he's not giving a right-of-way. The other neighbor said, absolutely, I'll give you a right-of-way. Gave him a right-of-way. He then had a driveway, was able to make a driveway to his property. Decided a couple of years later that he wasn't going to build on the property, sold it. Well, the new people that bought it had no problem because it had a right-of-way. Remember, most of the time, things can be handled cordially, kindly, professionally. That's the best way. Nobody wants to sue anybody, right? Nobody wants to sue anybody. That can drag on in court forever. You make enemies, and then what happens? So imagine this. You're trying to buy a piece of property next to another piece of property, and you don't do it a kind, nice way, and you piss off the neighbor, and you sue him, and yeah, you get a right-of-way. Well, then guess what? You are now enemies with this neighbor for as long as you live there. Does anyone really want to live in a situation where you hate each other? It happens every day, and it's never a good thing. It's never fun, and it's just not any good for anybody, right? So the best way is to hopefully get them on your side, to get it done a cordially way. Yes, you can sue someone to give you right of access, a right of way to your property. Nobody wants to sue anybody, right? At least I don't. I don't want to create enemies. Nobody wants to really create enemies, right? So just remember that. Landlocked land, the best way, and my advice, is to get the neighbor that has the bordering property on your side, figure out a way so that they can give you a right of way. And so listen, as I was doing research about this, I wanted to know, if you have a piece of property that borders another property and you don't have a right of way, is there a legal width that neighbor has to give you for your driveway? And believe it or not, there is nothing on the books, nothing on the law books that says the driveway or the right of access has to be at least so much. What it says is it has to be suitable. So whatever you're planning to do with the property, the right of access has to be suitable to it. So if you're putting a business, of course, that right of way would be different. If you're putting a house, it would be different. If you're buying it just for hunting property, that would probably be different. So if you plan on suing someone, which I hope you're not, the judge will then have to decide what's considered suitable in size for the right of way, right? That's what would happen. Y'all have a great day. If there's anything I can answer, any questions real estate related, there are no stupid questions. Ask your questions. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And y'all have a great week. Take care.